Hey, so have you ever felt like you can understand English much better than you can speak it? Well, first of all, you're not alone. This is very common, and this feeling is not just a feeling, it's actually a real concept, a real thing, and it has a name. It's called receptive bilingualism, but don't stress too much about the name. Today, we're going to look at 4 reasons for why you can understand better than you can speak. And of course, we're going to look at some solutions for you as well. So let's get started. Now, the first reason why you might understand better than you can speak is because you might not have a real need for English in your life. Now, you might be wondering, what does that mean? Of course, I need English. Everybody needs English. What I mean is you don't have a real specific measurable need for English in your life. And if that's the case, you're less likely to have clear goals. You're less likely to be motivated. You're less likely to have a plan for how you're going to improve your communication in English, all right? So, of course, there are some people who just love the language, want to learn English, but a majority of people in the world need English for something, whether it's work, whether it's to communicate with a loved one, whether it's for university, for school. There are lots of different reasons. And if you are someone who doesn't have a clear, specific need or reason for English in your life, chances are that you're more just learning English passively. You're kind of listening to things here and there in English. You read things online here and there, and you kind of consume some English content, but you are not actively taking a step to use anything that you've learned or to produce something with the language that you have learned, all right? So that's the reason why it's super important for you to identify the need for English in your life. And that's your solution. Identify the need for English in your life. So, do you need English to get a job? Do you need English to make friends? Do you need English to start a YouTube channel? Do you need English to go to university, to study? So whatever you need it for is super important that you identify that first of all. And then you can develop a plan that aligns with that goal. To actively use the language instead of just passively kind of hearing English here and there. All right, the next reason why you might understand better than you can speak is because you don't realize that listening and reading are very different skills than speaking. So when you're learning any language, remember that the language is made of lots of different skills, and speaking is one of them. You can listen without actually focusing your attention on something. You can listen to music, you can listen to the radio, you can listen to other people's conversations. There are lots of things you can listen to, but you don't have to actively do anything, all right? You don't have to create or produce anything necessarily when you are listening. You just need to listen and comprehend. Reading is also a different skill because when you're reading, you have time to pause, you have time to think, you have time to translate, you can reread, you can make notes, you can just take your time. Now, when it comes to speaking, there are lots of things involved. There's a lot more work involved with speaking English. When you're speaking, you have to listen, you have to understand, comprehend the question, you have to think about the points you're going to say, you have to consider your grammar, your vocabulary, then compose your answer, and then respond it, and think about your pronunciation. There's so many moving parts involved in speaking. So a lot of times as English learners, you might tend to read and listen more because those things are more comfortable. They're a little bit easier, but unfortunately, they are not necessarily helping you with the act of speaking. And that's why you can understand more because you are spending more time consuming and comprehending rather than speaking. So here is your solution. You need to speak out loud in English every single chance that you get. Every opportunity you have, take advantage of it. So even if it's something as small as ordering food on the phone, asking questions in a store or a restaurant, sending your friend a voice note instead of typing them a message, these things might seem small, but small steps lead to big progress over time, all right? The third reason why you probably understand better than you can speak is that speaking isn't usually done alone. So speaking is not normally a solo activity. You usually need to involve other people. And when you involve other people, you need to account for stress. You need to account for what the other person is going to say, the other person's opinion. And of course, it changes the dynamic, right? But when it comes to listening and reading and writing, you can work on these skills alone. You don't need to think about anyone else or consider anyone else or involve anyone else. So again, it's much more comfortable. And since you have to speak with another person or other people, you also, aside from your grammar and your vocabulary, you also need to think about the rhythm of the conversation. You need to develop a flow to your conversation because speaking is back and forth. It's a two-way street. It's not just you speaking at the other person, right? And of course, this can be stressful. So here is your solution. Going into any conversation, you need to, first of all, be prepared ahead of time. And second of all, start studying the rhythm of natural conversations, okay? When I say the rhythm, I mean the flow, the back and forth, how much time each person speaks, how to change the topic, how to react in a conversation. All of these elements are usually skipped or overlooked. A lot of people don't study these elements, unfortunately. So as an English learner, you probably study grammar, you probably study vocabulary, you study pronunciation, and these are all important elements, of course, of speaking. However, the rhythm and the flow of a conversation is also extremely important. So start to listen to natural, real, authentic English conversations and pay attention to the back and forth and the transitions and the reactions and the pace. All of these are very important elements of speaking, okay? And if you're not sure where you can find real English conversations, you can check out the weekly English Words membership. This is a monthly membership with thousands of real English conversations. This membership was created by myself and teacher Tiffany. It's awesome. It's a self-study, self-paced membership, again, with thousands of natural conversations about lots and lots of different topics. So this is a great place to start, and I will link it just down below the lesson for you. And as well, as I said, you need to be prepared in advance. So if you know that you're going to have a conversation about a certain topic, think about the topic ahead of time. Write down some notes, write down some questions, search online if you need to, all right? But don't go into a conversation blindly because you're just adding more stress to yourself, all right? And the fourth reason is that you have not had opportunity to speak up until now. So if you are an adult learner, chances are that if you studied English in school, you focused more on grammar, you focused on vocabulary, on reading, on writing, and probably less on listening and speaking. So this means that you had a lot of input of the English language, lots of English going into your mind, but not a lot of English coming out of your mouth. So you haven't had a lot of opportunities in your lifetime, and now you're an adult and you can't really speak confidently and you don't know where to start. So here is your solution. So if English is not a part of your everyday life, your community, your environment, you need to create situations and put yourself in situations in which you can speak English. This is super important because it gives you the chance to produce something with all the English that you have in your mind. And at first, You're gonna feel awkward and uncomfortable if you haven't been speaking English, but that is part of the process and that goes away. I promise you will feel more comfortable over time. So here are some of the things that you can do. You can join a conversation class online or in person. You can take lessons with a private teacher. You can find a speaking partner who also wants to practice their English. You can film yourself practicing speeches or presentations for work or for school. You can talk about a different topic every day for as long as you can. And again, voice record yourself or film yourself. You can read books or articles out loud, and this is just to practice the physical act of speaking, okay? To work on your pronunciation and physically move your mouth in a way that you're not really used to. You can send voice notes or you can make phone calls. Now, each one of the things on this list has a different benefit. So you can choose any one. You can start anywhere on the list. Anything that is possible for you, anything you have time or are able to do right now, start with that, okay? Some of these are free, some of them cost money. Just start with any one that you are able to do right now, okay? And it doesn't have to take you a lot of time. It doesn't have to cost you any money. And there's nothing stopping you from literally starting one of these things today. I encourage you to work through the entire list if you can, all right? So tell me which one of these you are planning to start with. And if you have any other suggestions for English learners, please do leave them down below in the comments. At the end of the day, I want to remind you that thinking about speaking English and actually speaking English are not the same thing. If you really want to improve your speaking skills and your communication skills, you need to speak English out loud. There's no way around it. It's like thinking about driving a car and driving a car are not the same thing. Thinking about exercising and physically exercising are not the same thing, okay? That's how speaking English works. Now, I have created a free ebook to help you with your English conversation skills. The ebook is called English Conversations Made Simple. It's free. You can click the link below to get it. As well, don't forget to check out the weekly English Words membership, also linked down below. Please let me know your thoughts on this topic. Let me know if you can understand English better than you can speak English. Let me know what your favorite tip from today's lesson was. Leave it down below for me. Thank you so much for watching and for learning with me, and I'll see you very soon in the next lesson.